Hey guys, it's me Shadow here and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk. If you don't know what the series is, let me do a quick rundown. It is a series where I talk about specific topics or stuff that I'm interested in, mainly anime, manga, light novels, manhwa, gaming, whatever I want to talk about. So today's topic is going to be about an anime called How to Become Ordinary. That's what the fucking anime is called. And this is the third time I've recorded this video because I wasn't happy with the first two, but I believe this anime had potential, and I think this potential went really fucking well until episode 8. Episode 8, 9 and 10 ruined the show for me. And it's not that it completely what? It isn't like, oh yeah, this show is completely just ass now. No, I think this show did such a good job in telling how these main characters are. So these main characters have two different ideologies, but have the same same kind of fix thing, same sort of solution. That's what I was looking for. And what I mean by that, both of them want to become an ordinary person, but both of them have something that's kind of like clinging to them from not becoming an ordinary person. The main characters are Jugrum and Asane. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. Jugrum is a really intelligent person that likes to do detective work and resolve and do puzzles in his head and think of solutions, stuff like that. But he doesn't want to do that. He wants to live an ordinary life, and that's what makes him. That's his kind of attachment from not living an ordinary life. It's just that thing clinging to him constantly. And I think that is. He reminds me a lot of Hachiman from Oroguru, but he's not as a complex character as Hachiman. Because I'm gonna be real, Hachiman is one of the best anime characters of all time. I'm not gonna fucking take that as a fucking disagreement. He is such a good fucking character. It's not even a dispute. But anyway, I think what makes him Jugrum kind of different is that he's lived his life basically up until his middle school. He's always solved problems. He's always used his knowledge to help others, and he doesn't want to do that anymore. And yeah, that makes sense. He wants to just live an ordinary life. That I think is a good way to go about it. But that keeps attaching to his character, and he can't separate himself from that. And I think that is such a cool dynamic to have for a character on his own, battling with his own ideologies. And I've always liked that, because this is kind of off topic, but in Bleach there's a lot of battling between ideologies and stuff like that in that show. They do it kind of in an interesting way in the show, I think. And along with the characters, Asane is like a fighter. She's a fighter inside. She's basically like a lion. She loves to fight for stuff she's either lost or something that's been damaged to her. And in episode 3, that I consider my favourite episode in the show, she snapped and she was going out for revenge. And seeing these two characters act differently in this situation really showed the depth of these characters. Asane was just doing random shit on a rampage trying to find these people, and Jugrum was literally contemplating asking Kengo for help, but Kengo refused, and that's when Jugrum's true colours show. And then obviously he snaps back in between his ordinary and his old personality. That I think is such a good way of doing that. And I think episode 3 is where the show shines. And I think if they kept, I think the main reason why this episode is so good is the animation. The animation through this show is amazing. But episode 3, seeing these different tones of colour, especially in episode 3 where Asane snapped and you just see the red backgrounds go all around her, obviously she's got pink eyes and black hair, just seeing it go around the back of it looked so good. It was such a good contrasting scene. And don't get me wrong, I've watched so many good animes, there's not been one like this that's had this good with contrast of colour. So yeah, I think the main two characters are really fucking good. I have nothing bad to say about them. But I do want to get into the nitty-gritty now, and this is where I'm probably going to lose some people, is the conclusion to the show is just kind of ass, and I'm going to be blunt. And I know this show was made by the same guy that made Hakiru, I think it's called, or something like that. I'll put the obviously image on screen. But I don't know why I don't like the conclusion to this show. I think it's because of how they went about it and the runtime for, not the runtime, the episode length. The runtime for this, because each anime in seasonal stuff usually has 12 episodes, and you get occasional 24 or 15 ones. This one has 10, and I assume it's for budget because of how good the animation is. I assume it's because of budget. And fair enough, there's nothing you can do if you're over budget or if your budget's gone. But the last 3 episodes, I think, are just not very good. They try to bring in more characters, and not being funny, Kenjo is like the only decent side character that is memorable throughout this whole show, to me. The rest of them are just kind of like, yeah, they're there, I guess. And I think that's where this anime kind of loses me when it comes to the last 3 episodes. When they bring in these new 2 characters to replace, they're bringing these 2 characters to replace Kenjo for Asane, and Asane is Kenjo. And I just don't like it, and I'm going to be blunt. I think they should have just either separated them halfway through the show and showed the different perspectives through the show, and then meet back up in the end and show them how different and how they've evolved as an individual, like kind of like my Daisy and my stepsister did towards the end of that show. But the ending for this was just not it for me. I don't know if other people like it, I haven't checked, but for me it just didn't sit right with me. I think they could have done a better job. I don't know if this, I did check before recording, this doesn't have a light novel, it doesn't have a source material, so it's an original anime. If it is, I haven't found it, I wasn't able to find it. But this show, for some reason, I had such high expectations because one of my friends had been glazing this show, and when I watched it, it was like, it's good, it's a good show, and I won't take it away from it. It's a good show, solid 7 out of 10 show. But to glaze it to that extent, saying it's a perfect show, no chance. Don't get me wrong, having a small cast of characters does help and benefits. It does help you remember the characters' names. It does help you get attached to these characters specifically. But seeing the same event unfold in each episode with different formula, in a different formula, yeah, it's cool and all, but it's not going to be for everyone. And I've always said this: anime is subjective to each individual. For example, some people don't like romance anime. Fair enough. For me, I enjoy it. I do like romance anime, but it's got to be good romance anime. Another one, like Chainsaw Man, for example, perfect example. Some people don't like Chainsaw Man because of how dark and edgy it is. I love it. It's probably my favourite new gen. But yeah, this show, like I said earlier, it's subjective. It's very subjective. You're either gonna love it, you're either gonna think it's alright like I do, or you're gonna hate it. And I don't know if this has been confirmed for season 2, but I'm gonna be 100%. I don't think they should do one. I think splitting the 2 main characters up at the end was a terrible decision to do. And again, it makes sense for the plot. I'm not gonna take it. It makes sense, so it is good writing, but I don't agree with the decision. And I can do that as a viewer. I cannot agree with writing decisions, but I do think if this had a second season, I hope they expand on these 2 relationships and not just ignore them and like think that they don't exist. I hope they don't do that if this gets a season 2. But knowing the director of Haikyuu, he never concluded that other story, so I don't think he's going to do a season 2 for this one. But if I'm wrong about any of this, like if it has a source material, let me know, and my opinions might change on it. But I think when it comes to this show in particular, when it comes to the animes I've watched this season, it is on like high mid tier, because I still think the best show I've watched this season is Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail 100 G Class was different, man, and it's not even done yet. We've got 25 episodes left. But when that is concluded, I will talk about Fairy Tail. But there is something about this one I had my hopes on, it just didn't scratch my itch for me, and I'm kind of disappointed in a way. But I do get it. It's a 10 episode show that just came out. I can't find the source material for it, and even if I did find the source material for it, I wasn't that intrigued by the characters to read a light novel or go read the manga, because that's the main drawing points for light novels and mangas. Is if the anime is good and I like it a lot and I love the characters, I will go pick up the source material like a manga or a light novel. I did that with Dan Machi, I did that with Tensura, I did that with a lot of stuff. But this show, I'm gonna be honest, for my rating, my overall rating for the show will be like a 7.5, I think. An 8 at best, but I'm gonna go 7.5. I think if this show had a 2 more episodes to expand on the characters a bit and took different turns for the plot, I think I would have enjoyed it more. But again, I'm not an anime director, I'm not a writer. Well, I am a writer, but not an anime writer. But so yeah, I think overall this show is good, and I do think it is worth the watch if you're into this type of anime. But again, if you're not going to miss anything if you don't watch it. But before I conclude it, I do want to say this: the animation for this show is probably the best in the whole season of anime. I'm going to be blunt. I think Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, that one's really fucking good. I think the first 3 episodes of Tower of God were also really fucking good. But this show, for some reason, animation was flawless throughout the whole thing, and I think that's kind of where they screwed themselves. The animation was really good, but the budget was just absorbed by the animation, and they couldn't fit 2 more episodes in. But fair enough, I'm not going to take away from it, but the animation for this show is gorgeous. But other than that, there's not really much I want to say much about this anime other than that. I think it could have been better, but again, I can't find the source material to judge. And if you guys have read the light novel or manga, let me know if it's different from the source material or not. But yeah, I don't think, let me check my list quickly. I don't think there is any more anime I want to cover this season. Well, previous season, we're into the new season now, but let me have a look. I could cover too many losing heroines, because I've heard that's also a really good show, and that's the only show left that I haven't finished last season. I finished all the shows last season but that one. But yeah, and obviously Fairy Tail's still ongoing. When it comes to the Tower of God video I mentioned in the last video, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna say it now. I think Tower of God, I love the manhwa. I'm on chapter 280 now. I love it. But when it comes to the anime, the first 5 episodes for Tower of God Season 2 were amazing. Then it just dropped off for some reason, and I don't get that. And I think when it comes to manhwa specifically, they have some terrible adaptations for anime. Like, the only good one I think is Solo Leveling. I love the anime and I can't wait for it. Season 2 comes out this season. I can't wait for. But God of High School's adaptation was terrible, but the choreography was really fucking good, so people forget about that one. Tower of God one was ass. Like I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like the first season of Tower of God, and I got told to go read the manhwa because apparently it was completely different, and I enjoyed it more. So yeah, I think when it comes to adaptation for manhwa though, they need to be on their game, because if they do, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of the beginning after the end. I read the manhwa, I wasn't that interested to pick up the light novel, but from what I've read the manhwa, because I'm caught up, if they don't do that anime justice, people are going to be infuriated. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't like Mushoku Tensei, and I know a lot of people compare the beginning after the end to it. I don't like Mushoku Tensei. I watched the first season of it and I couldn't get through it. I got to the second half of the first season, I just couldn't get through it. There was stuff in that anime, it just wasn't for me. I at least tried to watch it, but I wasn't just hating on it because of the stuff in the show. I generally just couldn't get through it. So, and I've always wanted to give the anime a try, and I tried recently to go rewatch it, and I couldn't do it. So, it's one of the only animes, I think, Mushoku Tensei, that I cannot watch. I don't know what it is about it. I think it might just be the way the anime is handled, or the way the main character is, Rudius. I don't know, I just can't get into that show specifically. But yeah, if you guys want me to cover Too Many Losing Heroines, I will cover it. But if not, I will just watch it at my own time. And I've heard it's pretty good, so I'll just watch it at my own time. But yeah, for next season, because obviously we're in a new season of anime now, I will be covering Blue Box. Blue Box is going to be the main one I cover because I love the manga for it. It's my favourite romance manga right now that's going right now. I know a lot of people love the Fragment Bloom Twice, I think it's called. I know a lot of people love that, and I know that just got an anime announcement, but Blue Box for me just hits different. I love Blue Box. But I will be covering Blue Box If there's any other anime you guys want me to cover, I will cover it obviously. But right now, I'm kind of done for the season and there won't be another. If I cover too many losing heroines, that'll probably be the last anime Let's Talk for now until the season's concluded. Because again, I don't like making a video on a show that hasn't finished, because it's like judging something. It's like eating like a burger and you got like just a little bite of it. You can't judge food by just taking bites of it, and that's kind of like anime for me. If I don't consume it all at once, I'm not gonna make a video on it, and I don't think I've ever done that, and I don't think I will ever do that. I watch anime the way I watch seasonal anime. If it's an anime I'm really interested in, I'll watch it episode by episode like I'm doing with Blue Box. If it's an anime that is a long running time like Fairy Tail, I'll watch it episode by episode, but if I skip an episode I'll go watch 2 episodes in one day or something like that. But stuff like that I will wait till it's concluded. Blue Box has 24 episodes planned, so it'll probably be 24 weeks from now I will cover Blue Box, or whenever it finishes, because I know they're releasing another episode today, so I don't know. But yeah, last thing before I go, thank you for all the support on the Wuthering Waves video and the Black Swan video. The Black Swan video has surpassed the Fushuen video now, and I'm kind of gassed about that, to be honest. I wasn't surprised about that, because again, I know a lot of people have Black Swan. So yeah, and then thank you guys for commenting on that video, because I really like replying to you guys' comments. So it's just, I like interacting with you guys. I think that's just great. And one more thing I want to say thank you for. I think I said it already in my community tab, or I might have said it in the last video. Thank you guys for 380 subs. I just thank you. It came out of nowhere. We were stuck at like 360 for months, and then now these videos are going out and pushing up. I'm gonna keep grinding, baby. That's what we're gonna keep doing. But yeah, in the community tab, I'm always active in the community tab. So if you guys want to ask me any questions or something, either drop a comment on one of the videos or drop a comment in the community tab, or follow me on Instagram or Twitter. Either one I'll just answer. But yeah, in the community tab, now that I mentioned it, there is a poll for the next Honkai Star Rail video. It's either going to be Acheron or Firefly. At some point I will do both, but I only want to do one right now. Main reason I don't really want to do both, because those videos are really hard to edit. I'm gonna be honest, they're super hard to edit, and I don't want them all to be the same. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you lot in a bit. Peace.